Good day, everybody. My name is Kevin Hogan. I'm the author of The Psychology of Persuasion, The Science of Influence, and 20 other books translated into 40 other languages around the world. Today, hypnotic frames that influence. Hypnotic frames for a couple of reasons. First, we use hypnotic language patterns that allow us to reduce resistance and cause the person to feel comfortable and to have a desire to comply. And also, they're frames because they point the person through a lens that allows them to see what they need to see. If I say, look at this shoulder right here, you immediately pay attention to the shoulder, but there's no attention paid over here until, of course, I mention this, at which time, of course, there's no time at all when you're going to see, for example, say this microphone right here. All right, so this is what the magician does, or the mentalist does, by directing attention here. More attention can be given on your part over here and here in the middle. That's what we're doing. So 3 things today. So first, the very first pattern that is an awesome frame is what I call the 859 pattern. And the 859 pattern was developed down at the University of Arkansas by Eric Knowles, Crawford, Sagarin, and a bunch of those smart professors down at the U of A few years ago. And the concept was this. It was, before we begin, I'd like to share with you, and then they would say something. For example, before we begin, I'd like to tell you that if you'd like to get coffee with Kevin Hogan every week, just go to kevinhogan.com, look in the right-hand column, and you'll see a place where you can subscribe to Coffee with Kevin Hogan if you like this kind of information every week. That's a before we begin. In other words, we haven't started yet. We haven't officially begun. Therefore, everything that I say right now has no resistance attached to it. It's a before we begin. We haven't begun when your defenses get all up and strong and intense and you're all resistant and reactant and all that. Not now, because it's before we begin. It's the 8:59. We start at 9 o'clock. 8:59 is the before we begin pattern. Nice, okay? Next up, number 2, is first of all today, I would like you to not have to feel obligated to buy this, or to go out with me today, or to go to the store for me, or to go do this for me, okay? In other words, don't feel obligated to do something. And if you can cause the person to know that they don't have to feel obligated to buy this product from you, to buy at the end of the sales letter, don't feel obligated to do this, don't feel obligated to do that, they immediately have a sense of resistance that is very tiny. It's very small. In other words, it tells them that they're going to be asked to purchase something later. This is so wonderful. Or they're going to be asked to go out with you later on. Or they're going to be asked to do something for you, or with you, or on behalf of you. But the resistance, instead of being a 9.7, can now be a 0.7 on a scale of 0 to 10. So we do before we begin, and then we tell the person what it is that we're going to ultimately want them to do, or one of the things that we're going to want them to do at the end or during our presentation or our communication. And then we say, hey, don't feel obligated to have to do any of this kind of stuff today. You don't have to. It's certainly not there. I'm just telling you this. I'm letting you know, and whatever you decide to do is cool with me. That's kind of the attitude, the feel that it has to have. Exact words can matter. Words do matter, but exact words are this much. And the feel of the pattern, the feel of the nonverbals, but more the tonality, is this much when it comes to what's really going to work with hypnotic language. Now, I don't know if going out with me, if buying this product, if going to the store with me, if going to the movie with me, or whatever it is you're going to ask the person to do, is what you want to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the possibilities, or I want to share with you some cool ideas, or at least I want to give you an idea of what that's all about, or how that would be like. So I don't know if buying this car, or buying this house, or getting a loan from me, as opposed to going over to Wells Fargo or one of the big companies, or whatever, is what you want to do. I don't know. I don't know. How would I know? I can't possibly know. All right. So once again, I've reduced resistance and reactance even further down. And compliance now becomes easier because I don't know everything. You're safe. Everybody else you talk to knows everything. Everybody else you talk to wants to tell you precisely what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do because I don't know what you want to do. I don't even know what the right answer necessarily is. I think I got a pretty good answer, but I'm not sure. It could be any answer. All right. But this one's pretty good, and I'm just going to show this one to you, right? All right, so we've got the 3 of them now. We've got before we begin, right? Don't feel obligated. And then, I don't know if this is what you're going to want to do or not, but If you do, it might be a good idea. I don't know. You tell me, and then I'll tell you an idea. So there's a third one. Next one is, why is it that a few smart people or a few sharp people see X, okay, see going out with me, or buying the car, or buying the house, or doing business with me, or purchasing this advertising today, or working with me on this project, or whatever it is? Why is it that a few smart people, or a few sharp people, or a few intelligent people, or a few people with brains see this, but most people don't get it? Why is it that you see it and most people don't understand? That's the feel. What is it about you that you get it, but other people just don't get it? Why is it that you're smart and, like most of the other people that we talk to here, just aren't all that bright? What is the deal? What do you understand? How did you come to this point of understanding and knowing when other people just don't get it and they're not all that bright and they're constantly asking questions and wondering whether or not this is the right idea or the right thing to do when it's just obvious, right? How is it that you figured that out? And the person then has the capability of telling you how it is they became intelligent, how it is that they came to be able to communicate intelligently, or to make good decisions, or to be sharp. And obviously you have segregated them from the rest of the world. And by segregating them, you have given them identity as being unique and powerful and intelligent and strong, when everybody else they talks to in the course of the week, they tell them they're idiots, they tell them they're stupid, they tell them they don't know what they're talking about, they tell them that's just your opinion, right? So why is it that a few sharp people see this, or see X, but most don't? Why is that? Okay, that's your next one. Now, and just so you know, you're now communicating a little bit, you're sharing an idea, you're listening to theirs, and they say, well, I really could go for having a new lawn service. I think that could be a pretty good idea, Kev. Or, I really could use a plow service to clear out the driveway in the wintertime. That could be a pretty good idea. Or I really could be buying a house now. That could be a really good idea. And then you can now say, now, if you want to just eliminate and erase reactance altogether and resistance, you just simply say, hey, look, you don't have to decide now. You don't have to do this now. You can wait for 5 years to do this. It's just that interest rates today, did you see the other day? The interest rate on the 15-year note was 3.4%, and on the 30-year it was 4.4. That's a spread of 100 basis points between the two. You can actually do a 15-year loan now almost as cheap as you can at a 30-year loan. See? So you don't have to decide now, but then you allow to come in the key reason, the key rational, logical, intelligent reason that the person is going to utilize when they communicate with their spouse or their best friend or their girlfriend or their buddies, or all the people in their head that they keep in their head that talk to them, that they are embarrassed in front of when they make bad decisions. They have information, so now they can go upstairs and talk after you've left and say, hey, look, interest rates are 3.4 on the 15 right now. This is a pretty smart thing to do, all right? And they can know that they're right to every single person that they're going to run into at the end of the day. Cool? All right? And then you have this one, which is, how do you know that you want to X now anyway? Okay, so if I say, so how is it that you know that you want to do this now anyway? Now is one of those words, and you know that from Magic Words of Persuasion, right? That sort of gets things done right now. It actually does. Even saying it in a really gentle, soft way, now is powerful. So how is it that you know that X, whatever it is you want, is the thing that you want to do right now? So sure you want to do it, but how do you know you want to do it right now? Well, Kev, obviously, interest rates aren't going to be at 3.4% on the 15 forever. They're going to go up. What, are they going to go down? Okay, so obviously I want to do it, duh, all right? So you let the person then share with you what the rationale is that you've just elicited from them previously. And then finally, you can say, cool, all right, I totally get it. So now they have either agreed now to purchase the real estate from you or buy the mortgage or go out with you or whatever it is. And now you can use what I call the 501 pattern. And the 501 pattern is something that was also developed by Eric Knowles and Crawford and Sagrin and all those guys down at the U of A years ago, and it wasn't quite like this. But the concept was, now that we're finished, I have the paperwork over here. Should I just give that to you? Or now that we're finished, I have the document that you got to sign. Or now that we're finished, I have a piece of paper over here that you gotta go through and sign. Is that cool? Or now that we're finished, and see, now that we're finished shuts off the resistance to the close, to asking the person out, to getting them to sign on the dotted line, to agreeing to go with you somewhere, agreeing to help with you, agreeing to be valuable to you in some way, or shoot, just agreeing to lose weight or eat better or be smarter or study harder, okay? Whatever it is you're trying to cause the other person to do, now that we're finished, here's what I want you to do. Go to kevinhogan.com, look in the right-hand column, just go down a tiny bit and it'll say, you know, Coffee with Kevin Hogan. Type in your name and your email if you like this kind of information and you'd like to have more. Cool? Those are the 7 hypnotic frames that allow you to reduce resistance and create a lens through which the person can look through that they will see right here, all right, and not all of the other little challenges that might be around, but you put their attention where there's no resistance necessary.